How's it going, everyone? We have a fairly notable update on Xbox games coming to PlayStation, and I do also want to take a look at something that's been making the rounds as far as a stat that I see being thrown around on social media a lot, and that is Xbox games doing very well in the pre-order section of PlayStation. And while that is true, it's kind of a misleading stat to go over, and I'll talk about that at the end of this video, just to give you guys a little bit of clarity. I see it being used a lot to fuel the fanboy wars in the sense of, oh my god, Xbox has more games that are top pre-order titles than PlayStation does as far as PlayStation published games versus Xbox published games or Microsoft published games, but you get the idea. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But right off the bat, speaking on the Xbox 2 podcast, Tom Warren noted that Starfield on PlayStation 5 was originally meant to already be here, but those plans fell through. They were originally going to do it with an expansion, and then I don't know what happened there. They have been working on it for a while, so it should be ready. For what it's worth, I personally don't think that Microsoft should drop Starfield right now, given the fact that we have Indiana Jones and Forza Horizon 5 coming out later this month, and you've got Age of Empires in there as well, and then there's gonna be Doom: The Dark Ages. Microsoft has a lot of published games coming out. There's just really no reason for Starfield to come out right now. On top of all of that, the rumblings of the Oblivion remake coming out potentially in May, June, July, around that radius, Starfield should be pushed back a little bit, maybe August, September. I know you're really not going to find a time period after July that's just a dead period. Maybe August, like early August, I think could be a good time to drop the Starfield. Whatever they call it, Ultimate Edition, Collector, Special Edition with the expansions on PlayStation 5. You probably don't want to coincide it with Yote or GTA, but at the end of the day, it's like it's a port to another platform. Do you really have to strategically think out when you release this game that critically? I would just say, why are you gonna compete with yourself if you're gonna drop the Oblivion remake? Like, that is a head-to-head direct competitor, and it's your own published title. There's no reason to be doing that. In the case of Starfield getting a second expansion, I do find that a little bit surprising. Like, how many people are that interested in a second expansion for Starfield? However, if that gives them a reason to re-release the game at $70, and they could potentially do something like $70 gets you the base game in Shattered Space, then $100 will get you fake early access and the second expansion. I do think that makes a little bit of sense, but Starfield was just one of those games that it's not like it was received that well to be leading it to getting a second expansion as well, but that's just my 2 cents on that. I actually like Starfield more than most people. Did I think it was Bethesda's best game? Absolutely not. Did not think it was at the level of Bethesda's highest quality titles. However, I still thought it was a fairly decent open world title and still one worthwhile to play for sure. And if it comes out, definitely, by God, do not spend $70 on it. But once it goes on sale, the $20 to $30 range, I think Starfield will be a decent pickup. And it's going to be one of those games that I feel like it'll come out on PlayStation 5. It'll go on sale eventually. Some of you guys will ultimately check it out, and at that point, you're gonna be like, hey, Starfield's not as bad as people made it out to be. It's gonna be one of those games where I feel like the expectations were so high that the game wasn't at that level, nowhere near that level, to be perfectly honest, but it was still a decent game where if you go back and you play it at a discount and you go into it with tempered expectations, you'll probably think it's pretty decent. You know what game I actually think could end up being like that as well? Star Wars Outlaws. I think Star Wars Outlaws, when the expectations go down and when people pick it up in the bargain bin, they'll be like, hey, this is a totally serviceable open world action title. I didn't love Star Wars Outlaws, but I didn't think it was this god-awful game either. It's just, you know, the $130 Ultimate Edition from Ubisoft, that ain't gonna fly with me, and it wasn't at that level. And first ever Star Wars open world game, again, had these grandiose expectations, but I feel like Starfield is gonna be viewed similarly in the sense that a year from now, when the game is on sale for $30, a lot of you guys will check it out and be like, hey, it's not that bad. Alright, I do also want to note this. This has been making the rounds a lot. I've been seeing it all over social media that Microsoft has been dominating the pre-order charts on the PlayStation Store. That's great. Okay, so I have an article from Tweaktown where they do a nice breakdown. Appreciate the breakdown. We all like looking at stats. It's fun to look at stats and break down data. Let me just add a little bit of context to this data because I do feel like it's being very much used to fuel the console wars where it's Xbox versus PlayStation. Oh, Microsoft is publishing this many games on the PlayStation Store, and PlayStation is publishing this many games on the PlayStation Store, and Xbox has so many more games dominating the top pre-orders. Alright, first of all, look at the games that are coming out. Over the course of the next 6 weeks, Microsoft is dominating the output. They are putting out Indiana Jones The Great Circle, Forza Horizon 5, and Doom The Dark Ages all in the next 6 or 7 weeks or so. Yes, PlayStation does have Death Stranding 2 that's coming out at the end of June, but that's pretty far away. It's just like back in early October, it was a nice stat to look at, but Sparking Zero was getting more pre-orders than Black Ops 6. Did Sparking Zero end up selling more copies than Black Ops 6? No, it ended up doing very well, and it's a nice little stat to look at, but when you're looking at a game that is closer to being released, it is just naturally gonna be more heavily pre-ordered than a game that's coming out later. Hence why a game like Indiana Jones is getting pre-ordered more than Death Stranding 2. Could Indiana Jones sell more than Death Stranding 2? I mean, I guess, is it? I would have to think no. Maybe I am undervaluing Indiana Jones as an IP. Maybe I'm crazy and the game is gonna do exceedingly well, but I don't think that's gonna be the case. Same thing with Forza Horizon. Again, these are delayed releases. Doom The Dark Ages is gonna do very well. And if you want to do the head-to-head comparison with Microsoft and PlayStation, Microsoft is porting their back catalog, a lot of their back catalog. Age of Empires, Indiana Jones, Forza Horizon 5, these are all back catalog titles. If Sony just decided to release God of War 2018 and Marvel Spider-Man or Gran Turismo 7 to keep it in line with racing games, Gran Turismo 7 and God of War 2018, obviously they're gonna shoot up. Microsoft just has so many more games coming out, and they're naturally gonna have more games published on PlayStation, so, you know, to fuel the fanboy wars, yeah, I guess Microsoft is probably always gonna have a little bit more of an impact on the top pre-order charts than PlayStation. They've got so many developers under their publishing arm that nowadays they're gonna be putting out a lot of games. At least that is the hope. That is the hope, and that's great. I mean, they're bringing all their games to PlayStation. Who cares? It's just I wanted to give some context to this data because this is something I've been seeing a lot. Oh, Xbox has more games coming out, or Microsoft has more games that are dominating the top pre-order charts than PlayStation. Again, add a little bit of context. Indiana Jones is out in like just over 2 weeks. Forza Horizon 5, I believe, is out in just over 3 weeks. And then the nearest PlayStation published game on the PlayStation Store is, I believe, a Death Stranding 2. Maybe there's MLB The Show or something like that, but the next major game, I believe, is Death Stranding 2. But, like, it's great that Microsoft games being published on PlayStation are doing well. Doesn't take rocket science to figure out, you know, these games are gonna do at least somewhat well, especially, again, when you look at the comparison about what's coming out in the relative near future, which is what these games should be compared to. It's Expedition 33. That's, like, the biggest game. And, look, I'm excited for Expedition 33, brand new IP coming from a brand new studio. They've done a phenomenal job in promoting the game, but that's gonna be one of those games that's gonna come out, and if the reviews are really good, I think a lot of people are gonna gravitate towards it. But just adding a little bit of context there, look, the Microsoft games are gonna come to PlayStation, they're gonna do very well, but that was ultimately the intention. It's not like PlayStation guys were gonna be like, Forza's been aligned to Microsoft for so long, I can't play that. I can't forego my allegiance even though it's on my platform. Forza, why weren't you on PlayStation earlier? They're not gonna be like a Scorn X or something like that that aren't gonna check out Forza, you know what I mean? But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Starfield looking to still come to PlayStation 5, potentially with a second expansion. Let me know, what price point does Starfield have to get to for you to pick it up? And if you did play it, am I in the wrong? Do you think it's a little bit overhated like I do? Let me know in the comments section down below. I did want to provide a little bit of context to this data that I've been seeing going around. And to be fair to Tweaktown, again, they do clarify that there's a lot of Microsoft games that are coming out in the relative near future. It's just a lot of this is being used to perpetuate the fanboy wars and the console wars on social media, and I just wanted to clarify that a little bit. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.